Oh boy, here we go again. Jamie Dimon says that the government should shut down crypto. You already know the deal, folks. We're going to get right on into it. I appreciate everyone for stopping by. I do have some new merch from one of our affiliates. If you guys are looking to get some crypto gear, just go to my website, zachrector.com, and I'm going to be dropping another update because I got sent a bunch of different collections. This one that I'm wearing right here, pretty cool. It's called the When Moon collection, but I also got the Phoenix Rising collection, a couple others. So I'm going to be showing you guys that here, and I'll make a separate video on that. But in the meantime, just go to my website, zachrector.com, if you need any of our community resources, including that crypto gear, that fresh merch, exchanges, wallets, and precious metals. Now, I also want to make everyone aware that Link2 did just load up once again on Ripple Equity, so get it while you can. Literally, this came back online this morning after they were sold out for the past few days. It came back online at $40 per share, but when you spend over $10,000, that share price dropped down to $38. But as you can see, it's already back up. $41 per share for under $10K. As soon as you spend $10K, that share price drops down to $39.28, but that's going to be going quickly. So make your move while it's there. Without further ado, folks, let's get right on into it. So the market chopped sideways today after the rally yesterday took us back up to 44,500. Couple bounces this morning to really wake everyone up, but then just finished off sideways. Same thing for Ethereum, coming back down here to 2,232. XRP up to 63 cents. So XRP finally starting to wake up here a little bit late, but finally coming along for a ride, and XLM doing the same thing. Now the $X DXY index was back up today. We saw treasuries coming back down. That was for the 2-year and the 10-year, both closing down. And then we also saw the oil back below $70 per barrel if you use the US crude oil measurement. This is the UK Brent oil, which trades a little bit higher, $74. But picking up a level that we have not seen for a long time here for oil, coming back down for silver, same thing, and gold chopping sideways as well. So as I've been saying, while it's available, while it's there, whether it's Ripple Equity, whether it's gold at 2,200, I mean, gold can still go sub 2,000, no problem. Silver back below $25 per ounce, not a problem. XRP, are we going to get back below 60 cents? Probably, right? Expecting another pullback here. The market, though, has just been on a tear. I believe it's come into overbought territory for many of these stocks, as well as gold and even Bitcoin in particular, along with some of the cryptos as well. So we'll be watching that. Now, when we get into the economic data, we got some further stuff to cover here that came out today. The trade deficit widens 5% to 3-month high of $64.3 billion as U.S. exports decline. So watch this one, folks. Trade deficit still on track to be the lowest in 3 years. Watch for this to impact our GDP, those numbers here that we got to watch, and it's not looking good for the U.S. economy. Now, some of the data points that are coming out this week, we'll be watching this here closely. We got the job openings yesterday. That was a big miss. And then we got the ADP employment, which was another miss, along with our trade deficit, another miss today. Now, the thing that everyone's waiting for is this jobs report. So we get the initial jobless claims tomorrow, along with consumer credit. And then we'll get to see the U.S. employment report and the unemployment rate, hourly wages, the full jobs report coming out this Friday. So the market remaining cautious. And this is why we saw actually NVIDIA, S&P back down here today. You can take a look at this chart. Back down for NVIDIA. Back down for the S&P 500. And back down for the Dow Jones. So the market cooling off a little bit as the recession worries do loom. Now, what are Americans doing as they consider what is coming, right? They are doing doom spending, which is spending money despite economic and geopolitical concerns. This is coming from CNBC, and you can see it just by the amount of credit card debt that we've reached over $1 trillion in credit card debt. The student loans, I guess some of them are now due, some of them are forgiven. But the consumer completely tapped out, and the situation's just getting tight as we head on into the winter. So I hope everyone's been prepared. I hope that everybody is still staying liquid, staying ready, doing everything they can to bring in more money, because we need to buy more of these digital assets that Jamie Dimon wants to shut down. So let's get right on into it, folks. So we had the bank CEOs on Capitol Hill today testifying. So we have Jamie Dimon right there. That's Brian Moynihan, and that's the CEO of Bank of America right next to him. And you can just see the look that Brian is giving Jamie while he says, if I was the federal government, I would shut down crypto and Bitcoin. Listen in on this crap, folks. Unbelievable.
Deeply opposed to crypto, Bitcoin, etc. You pointed out the only true use case for it is criminals, drug traffickers, anti-money laundering, tax avoidance, and that is a use case because it is somewhat anonymous, not fully, and because you can move money instantaneously, and because it doesn't go through, as you mentioned, all these systems have built up over many years, know your customers, sanctions, OFAC, they can get bypass all of that. If I was the government, I'd close it down.
Okay.
Deeply opposed to crypto.
Shut her down. You know, he needs to lean over and have a conversation with Brian about real utility, right? Bank of America being a Ripple partner now for years. And this is the type of compliance, the standards that are all within line of AML, money laundering, and all this. And once again, this is just a load of crap because, as John Deaton points out here, talk about being a effing hypocrite. Who's the criminal, Jamie Dimon? Let me ask you a question. In the last 5 years, when JP Morgan has been fined over $35 billion for illicit and fraudulent activities, did any of your staff use Bitcoin or crypto? No, they did not. We can answer that question for Jamie. They did not, right? They're using US dollars. They're using Jamie Dimon's protected system. And this is why you've seen them flip-flop back and forth. They're trying to get their ducks in a row. JPM coin, not ready. The bankers, not ready. And Brian Moynihan, one of the few bankers that's, you know, willing to go sit down at the table with a company like Ripple that is trying to help them, trying to be in compliance, follow all the laws, do the right thing. And they're working with the banks while on the other side, the government decided to come after the, you know, Ripple and sue them. So the hypocrisy here, once again, as we say, Jamie Dimon has been the same guy that called Bitcoin a pet rock, nothing but fraud. And he's been flip-flopping here. We've gone full circle once again because just a little bit ago, he said that he regretted calling Bitcoin a fraud and believes it's in the technology behind it. And now today it's shut it down. You know, the guy can't make up his mind. And I'll just tell you, it's very simple. The incumbents aren't ready. These guys don't understand the tech. They don't have everything aligned. And when they do, as they're starting to get ready, and I'm going to show you guys in this next tweet, they're getting ready, and this is where the shilling has begun, as we're now seeing coverage from Bloomberg and others about Bitcoin going to 500,000 and beyond. You know, running segments on CNBC today on when will you become a believer? At what price point will you be a believer in Bitcoin? And so the next thing we know here, you know, we're waiting for Mad Money, Jim Cramer. I think that, what was it, 7-8 months ago that he said not to buy Bitcoin, and it's literally rallied like 120% since. So it's just hilarious to watch the incumbents squirm around in their chair, do their little DC dance here today. But to me, it's very clear this is not going away. They're just not ready for it. And once they are ready for it, they got an ETF to offer you. And that's what Ved is pointing out here in this next tweet. He says, if you're in crypto right now, realize how far ahead you are. None of them have custody figured out, relying on knowledge that you already have. Make something out of it. And he's talking about all these applicants from Grayscale, ARK, 21 Shares, BlackRock, Bitwise, Van Eck, Wisdom Tree, Galaxy, Fidelity, all of these old, Franklin Templeton, all of the old guard, right? They're still trying to figure out custody. They're tapping into Coinbase, Gemini, self-custody for Fidelity. So Fidelity has self-custody figured out. And we see that once again, we're ahead of the game. We've already figured out self-custody. We've already figured out how to trade, how to use a DEX, how to buy an NFT. If you've had the unpleasant experience of buying an NFT on Ethereum, how to pay a gas fee, right? And this is all coming around here full circle. And as I pointed out in the video this morning, if you missed it, stellar partner IBM partnering up with Ripple's Medico was the title of the video. And the partnership that got announced was between IBM and Medico. And so speaking of custody, now you're starting to see that final piece, that final block that had to be put in place was custody, institutional grade custody that's in compliance. And Medico has that deal done. And as we talked about with the partnership announcement this morning, that would be a partner, to Stellar, IBM, such a massive company that's already chosen to work with Stellar, but now they're pulling up and they're working with Medico, which is just another extension of the infrastructure that Ripple is building out here. Now that Ripple's bought Medico. So we are in the right spot, folks. And to add on to my point, after they get their products ready to go, then they're going to be shilling this thing. It's not going to be a pet rock anymore. It's going to be the next best thing since sliced bread. And this is what we're talking about. ISO 222, let's do it. That's Rohitku. BlackRock ETF approval will be a game changer for ushering in spot-based crypto ETFs in the United States. And this is the kicker. 77% of advisors will be recommending a spot ETF to clients when they become available, plus increased price from demand. Well, of course, the price of these underlying assets for all of these ETFs have gone up. For gold, it did a 5x. For silver, it did a 10x. That's 500% and 1,000% returns. Now, with the ETFs coming, once they get all their ducks in a row, they figure out their custody, then it's not going to be a pet rock anymore. Then Jamie Dimon's not going to want to shut it down. It's, actually, we're now offering crypto trading. We're offering custody. We're offering the whole 9 yards, and come do business with us. So that is the situation at hand. Once again, nothing new here. The incumbents, the bankers, and Jamie Dimon, one of the most corrupt. Remember, we highlighted how Jamie Dimon, JP Morgan Chase, they've spent over $1 billion in legal fees just within the last 6 months, trying to cover up their tracks on their fraud, their crimes, and everything that they've been doing to manipulate the silver market, all these markets. And what else they were facilitating too, with some stuff that I can't even mention here on this channel. You know about that well. $300 million paid in fines in relation to that as well. So you want to talk about crimes? Let's not get started, Jamie Dimon. All right, guys, if you appreciate this update, I want to remind everyone that we got a interview that's going to be airing here. That is going to be with the CEO of Credify. That's going to be airing here at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. So after you get done watching this video, smashing that like button, make sure that you go set your reminder, because that's going to be airing here in just a little bit. Appreciate everyone. Everything else can be found at my website, zachrector.com, including the new merch. God bless you all.